Hey everybody, it's Derek with Derek's Digs. Today I'm going to be reviewing Scott Snyder and Jock's Wytches. The first issue came out last week, and so I was really excited to see this ever since hearing about it at San Diego Comic-Con. So the story picks up a long time ago with the Cray family, which I don't think, as far as I know, has any connections to the main characters in the story, but we'll get to that in a moment. So it's a very brutal opening scene, which basically sets the tone for what I think will be the entire comic series. So the issue after the prologue between the mother and son, which is, again, like I said, very brutal, it picks up with the Rooks family. It's a family of three, and the dad is a comic book creator. The mother, I'm not too sure what her role is yet. I do know that she's disabled after some type of accident, and I'm sure we'll find out later on in the series. And then Sailor Rooks, which is their daughter, and she is returning to school after a brief hiatus because of something that has happened to her in the woods that was very traumatic. And so we don't have to wait too long to find out what went down. So as you can tell from the title of the book, Wytches, the story is about witches, but it's a different take on it. I was a little worried when I first heard it was coming out because I'm like, oh Lord, I can't imagine another book about a broomstick flying, cauldron bubbling group of people. And so so interviews I had read prior to this issue coming out kind of put my mind at ease, because I found out that it's something a little bit more primal. The witches in this book are things that live in the woods, these very tall creatures, and so the plot is kind of where someone would, what we call, pledge somebody, so in order to get something from the witches. So if you had a family member that had a terminal illness, then you would go to the woods, pledge a human sacrifice to the witches, and then they would give you something to help heal your family member after they've come to collect the human sacrifice. So everybody thinks the witches are the people like you and I. However, those people are just the servants, and the real witches live in the woods, which is uber creepy. So I can't wait to see where the story goes. Jock does the art. The art is very disorienting and very dark and lots of shading, which is a perfect match for Snyder's story. And so you just got to take a look at it. I just think it's put together very well. And again, this is from Image Comics, so kudos to them for a horrifying first issue. I have read a lot of horrifying things, and this is right up there with it, so good job. One of the things that I was excited about after the first issue, I think it was a couple days later, New Regency Plan D, which is Brad Pitt's production company, they are looking to adapt Wytches into a film. And so I'm very excited to see where that goes. I do know that Scott Snyder and Jock have been signed to be executive producers, which is totally awesome, and so I can't wait. Like I said, I can't wait to see where that goes. So Wytches was going to be one of my Derek's Digs, part of the whole Halloween haze crazes month. And so, but I figured it deserved its own video because it's so awesome, and I highly recommend picking it up to see for yourself. Also, I want to add that before this issue came out, there was a prologue to the story. It was a free issue. I know that it's on Comixology as a free download, so if you are a digital comics reader, make sure that you do read that beforehand. I don't know if any of those characters tie into the actual series, but it does set things up. I did read that before I read the first issue, which kind of even made it greater in my opinion, but I mean that's totally up to you. And so I don't know if it was ever printed. If it was, you can totally correct me in the comments, but I do recommend picking that up. So this is me signing off, and so check back. I do have a couple things coming. If you have not got a chance to scroll through all my Tumblr madness, I do recommend reading how to basically stop yourself from buyer's remorse. And so if you have not read that, make sure you do. I will include that link in the description as well. So you're probably wondering what this is in the back here. If you are familiar with my ongoings, I do practice witchcraft, and so this I figured, and to talk about witches, what greater place to do it than to do it in front of my altar. So this is my altar where all of the magic happens, and so ba-dum-bum. And so thank you for checking me out, and see you next time. Bye.